Hare Krishna, dear devotees, Dandavat Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada. Thank you. Vishnu Prabhu, Ramchandra Prabhu, Pawan Prabhu, Ritesh Prabhu, Aarti Mataji for the chanting today. Let's continue with our prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalaakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminati Namine Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Deshtarine जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा. Okay, so we are singing the Stava Raj, which is the king of all the Stava, all the prayers by Shri Vyasadev and Shri Mahadev, glorifying Shrimati Radharani. So let's continue with Radha Kripa Kataksh Stavaraj. Okay. Meenakshi Moini would like to sing today, so we'll continue with that. Okay.
Hare Krishna. Munindra Vrinda Vandite Triloka Shokaharini Prasanna Vaktra Pankaje Nikunja Bhuvilasini Vrajendra Bhanu Nandini Vrajendra Sunu Sangate Kadakaresha Sihamam Kripa Kataksha Bhajanam अशोकवृक्षवल्लरी व्यतानमण्डपास्थिते प्रवालवालपल्लवा प्रभानुनङ्घ्रिकोमले वराभयास्फुरत्करे प्रभूतसम्पदालये कदा करिष्यसीह मां कृपाकटाक्षभाजनम् अनङ्गरङ्गमङ्गला प्रसङ्गभङ्गुराभ्रुवं सविभ्रमं शशम्भ्रमं त्रिगन्धवानपाटने निरन्तरं वशीकृता प्रतीतिनन्दनन्दने कदा करिष्यसीह मां कृपाकटाक्षभाजनम् तडित्सुवर्णचम्पका प्रदीप्तगौरविग्रहे मुखाप्रभा परास्तकोटिशारदिन्दुमण्डले विचित्रचित्रसञ्चरक्षकोरशावलोचने कदा करिष्यसीह मां कृपाकटाक्षभाजनम् मदो मदाति यौवने प्रमोदमानमण्डिते प्रियानुरागरञ्जिते कलाविलासपण्डिते अनन्यधन्यकुञ्जराज्यकामकेलिकोविदे कदा करिष्यसीह मां कृपाकटाक्षभाजनम् अशेषहावभावधीरहीरहारभूषिते प्रभूतसात्तकुम्भकुम्भकुम्भिकुम्भसुस्तने प्रशस्तमन्दहास्यचूर्णपूर्णशोख्यसागरे कदा करिष्यसीह मां कृपाकटाक्षभाजनम् मृवालवालवल्लरी तरङ्गरङ्गदुर्लते लताग्रलासलोललीललोचनावलोकने ललल्लुलल्मिलल्लमुख्यमुग्धमोहनाश्रिते कदा करिष्यसीह मां कृपाकटाक्षभाजनम् सुवर्णमल्लिकाञ्चिता त्रिरेखकम्बुकान्थगे त्रिसूत्रमङ्गली गुणा त्रिरत्नदीप्तिदीधिते सलोलनीलकुन्तला प्रसन्नगुच्छगुम्फिते कदा करिष्यसीह मां कृपाकटाक्षभाजनम् नितम्बबिम्बलम्बमानपुष्पमेखलागुणे प्रशस्तरत्नकिङ्किणी कलापमध्यमञ्जुले करेन्द्रसुण्डुदण्डिकावरोह सुभुगोरुखे कदा करिष्यसीह मां कृपाकटाक्षभाजनम् अनेकमन्त्रनादमञ्जुनुपुरारवास्खलत् समाजराजहंसवंशनिखवणादिगौरवे विलोलहेमवल्लरी विडम्बिचारुचक्रमे कदा करिष्यसीह मां कृपाकटाक्षभाजनम् अनन्तकोटिविष्णुलोकनम्रपद्मजार्चिते हिमाद्रिजापुलोमजा विरिञ्चजावराप्रदे अपार सिद्धिरिद्धिदिक्तसत्पदान्कुले नखे कदा करिष्यसीह मां कृपाकटाक्षभाजनम् मखेश्वरी क्रियेश्वरी स्वदेश्वरी सुरेश्वरी त्रिवेदभारतेश्वरी प्रमाणशासनेश्वरी रमेश्वरी क्षमेश्वरी प्रमोदकाननेश्वरी व्रजेश्वरी व्रजाधिपे श्रीराधिके नमोऽस्तु ते इति ममद्भुतं स्तवं निशम्य भानुनन्दिनी करोतु सन्ततं जनं कृपाकटाक्षभाजनम् भवेत् त्वदेव सञ्चिता त्रिरूपकर्मनाशनं भवेत् तदा व्रजेन्द्रसूनुमण्डलाप्रवेशनम् कदा करिष्यसि मां कृपाकटाक्षभाजनम् हरे कृष्ण मुनि की जय
Thank you so much. Okay, so in interest of time and also this translation long, so we'll just read the Falashruti, which is the 13th stanza of the translation. Anybody would like to read translation?
I can read, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji. Yeah, so we'll read this 13th
All
verse.
right. Sure. Thank you. May Sri Vishabhanu Nandini, upon hearing upon my astonishing prayer recited, bestow her most merciful sidelong glance upon the speaker. At that time, one will feel all the effects of the past, present, and future karma completely destroyed and gain entrance into the assembly of Nandanandana's, Krishna's eternal loving devotees. That aspiring devotee who chants this prayer on the full moon day, waxing 8th lunar day, 10th lunar day, 11th lunar day, Ekadasi, and 13th lunar day will find that his mind intelligence become pure, each and every desire will be fulfilled without fail. And by the most merciful sidelong glance of Sri Radha, one will obtain pure ecstatic love, prema. The aspiring devotee who recites this prayer 100 times while in the waters of Sri Radha Kund up to the thighs, navel, chest, or neck attains complete perfection in religiosity, economic development, fulfillment of desires, and liberation. The power by which everything spoken will come true, and great opulence from attaining transcendental majesty. At that time, one gets to meet Sri Radhika face to face, seeing her even with one's own presence, eyes, and Sri Radhika becomes so pleased that she instantly bestows the greatest benediction of being able to see her own beloved Shyama Sundara Krishna with one's present eyes. The Lord Krishna, the Lord of Rajadhama, grants one entrance into his eternal ecstatic pastimes, which is the only goal for which true Vaishnavas hanker. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Yes, so Srimati Radhika bestows us with the benediction that we can have darshan of her and Shyam Sundar Krishna. We recite this wonderful prayer, which has been said originally spoken by Lord Shiva. So, Mahadev, Yamuna Maharani, Vrinda Maharani, Guru Parampara, and Giriraj Govardhan. These are the 5 pure devotees who gave us entrance into Vrindavan Dham. So, and with that mercy of these pure devotees, we get the darshan of Shri Radha Krishna. So that is what Srila Prabhupada was saying yesterday to Ram Jethmalani, who was, as we were reading Prabhupada Lilamrita, he was saying he was not sure if Krishna was real or not, right? So Srila Prabhupada was giving him all the references, all the proof from the scriptures, from the Shastras. And here is another proof that, yeah, if we recite this prayer, then Srimati Radharani personally comes before us and gives us the benediction of residing in the eternal, going back to home, back to our eternal home, back to Vrajadham. So, anyway, so that's how we were talking that Prabhupada came yesterday to our center, or day before, back home. And yeah, we are reading this chapter 51, wonderful chapter. And Prabhupada said that the only asset I had was I was sincere. And the other day I was hearing a class by Prabhupada also in New York, and he said the only asset was chanting. And that's what Prabhupada says. That's the message he gives to Ram Jethmalani yesterday, that if we are sincere, and then even if people who are drunkards, women hunters, all kinds of obnoxious activities they may have done in this life or past lives, but all of that is eradicated by the virtue of chanting the holy name. That is the power, that is the potency of the pure holy names. When we chant, it purifies not just our body, mind, senses, intelligence, but our whole consciousness, not just from this life, but from millions and millions of lifetimes. Even if we have done so many sins, all of those are eradicated by the power of chanting of the holy names, by power of chanting these prayers. So that is what Prabhupada's message was yesterday. That is the asset. We also need to have the asset of sincerity, because if we have the desire, we think Paramatma sitting in our heart. What does Paramatma do? Paramatma is the witness, right? For many people, Paramatma is just the witness. He's witnessing everything that the Jiva is doing. And Paramatma also, um, if we have sincerity, then Paramatma also guides us. He'll guide us to the right bona fide spiritual master, to the Guru, to the association of the devotees with which we can progress. And eventually, Paramatma is the one who is the ultimate sanctioner. He grants, he gives us mercy, he gives us bhakti, by which we can again go back to our home, back to the Lord. So that is the asset we all need to develop. And then we will lead a fulfilled life, as Giriraj Maharaj was saying here, that Prabhupada, uh, just by serving Prabhupada's instructions, and he was bringing these politicians, and Prabhupada was turning them into gentle devotees. And his dream of Prabhupada being with them and doing this was being fulfilled. So I was sharing a nice, just a story, similar story yesterday, a night in the evening reading, that when I went for yesterday, because this is a Thanksgiving week, and again, we were talking about Thanksgiving also yesterday. But this is a Thanksgiving week, and at our work, we were doing like a special program where we are going and delivering groceries. So even though my job is to sit at the corporate office, but yesterday we were in the blue Kroger delivery trucks. We were going around the city delivering groceries. And actually, that particular center where the whole deliveries, online deliveries are sorted and assembled, it's called the fulfillment center. So as soon as I walked there, I saw Kroger fulfillment. And then, me and my colleague, one other lady who was there, we were talking about how, we are living a fulfilled life by serving at the fulfillment center. So my whole day yesterday was with the Kroger delivery driver, and we had some nice conversations yesterday about karma, about all of these things. And ultimately, end of the day, of course, I was able to share some of my prasadam with him. So he was very, very happy. And end of the day, he was, and there are a lot of other, nice coincidences that happened. We went to one lady's home, and there she was sitting outside with her cats, and she had a nice thing next to her, and she had some figurines there. And suddenly my eyes fell on, she had one small figurine of Lord Hanuman there. So I was asking her, so how did you get this? Do you know who this is? And she said, oh, no, I don't know, but my son gifted this to me. So, so like that. But then, so I gave a brief introduction about that. But then I was talking to the Kroger delivery driver while we were kind of wrapping up. That was almost towards the end of the day. So as we were wrapping up, I was able to have some conversation around karma. And he was a nice person. So he heard everything. And at the end of the day, he thanked me that, oh, today I learned so much about your culture and about your value system. So, and yeah, he was very happy. So again, living a fulfilled life. So like Prabhupada was saying, that is the only service that we can do, as he was saying to Ram Jetmalani, that we can share this education with others, because people are suffering. We went to so many senior citizens' homes yesterday as we were delivering, and we can see in America, everything looks so glossy from outside, but inside, people's lives are very, very broken. There are so many people who are just living day to day, without any joy, anything in their lives. We just walked into their homes. Some of those people could not even walk. So we had to take the groceries inside and deliver it to their kitchen cabinet. And, when I went in and saw some of those homes, it just made me so sad looking at the lives of these people. They may be in their 80s and 90s, but what is the point of living such a life when, you know, you have nothing else to look forward to? Some people are just watching game shows all day. So that is not fulfilled life. But here, Giriraj Maharaj is teaching us what is a fulfilled life if we serve the instructions of our Guru and help serve this knowledge and distribute this knowledge, then that is the true service to humanity that Prabhupada is telling us. Okay. So we'll continue from here. Srila Prabhupada would repeatedly mention that the ISKCON leaders should prepare to carry on without his direct management. One day he was recalling some of the incidents of his first year in New York City, and suddenly he began speaking of the future. Don't spoil it, he said. Now it is up to you, my senior men. I can part away from you. My health is not good. I'm old man. It is not surprising. Now you GBC young boys, you are American expert. You have all intelligence, so you don't spoil it. Let the movement go forward more. You have a lot of nice places. Don't be anxious for. And even if I go, where is the harm? I have given my ideas and direction in my books. Just you have to see it. I think I have done my part. Is it not? Do you think so or not? Yes, you have done everything. Still, we want the whole Bhagavatam, Srila Prabhupada. That will be done, said Prabhupada. Even it is not full, there is no loss. You are competent. You can take charge. Now you can take charge of all the money and let me remain free from management. My only request is don't spoil it. I have sometimes chastised so that it may not be spoiled. Prabhupada said that for him to see that things were going on nicely under his ISKCON leaders would make him happy. And I will go on writing books. That will be all right. He said there was no need for him to eat anymore. Since he was not physically active, there was no purpose in taking a lunch of chapatis and rice. Giriraj Maharaj expressed that it was the pleasure of Prabhupada's devotees to see him eat and relish prasadam. But Srila Prabhupada disregarded this and said the brain could be kept active just by a little fruit or milk. These moods, Prabhupada speaking of retirement and fasting, even hinting of passing away, were only occasional moods. They were very real, practical, and sober. But he would soon turn to other things, promising his continual involvement with his disciples, his movement, and the world. After a brief spell of such talking, he would again be commenting fiercely on the follies of the scientists and politicians. Srila Prabhupada said that if a man could not accept the simple logic that there must be God, then he was obstinate and not even sane. But these animals, he said, they are passing on as big scientists, philosophers, theologians, and so on and so forth. We have to stop them. Namam duskritino mudha prapadyanti naradamaha. This is the qualification of the person who does not accept God. He is either dushkritina, naradhama, mudha, or mayaya aparata jnana. Mayaya aparata jnana means those who are highly educated but have no knowledge. Asuram bhavam ashritaha means they do not believe that God exists. So, as Krishna conscious leaders, you have to chastise these rascals. Giriraj Maharaj said, it is actually relishable to chastise them. Yes, Prabhupada laughed. It is a pleasure sport. As they spoke, Shirashur Gopinath entered with the daily newspaper. What is the news? Prabhupada asked. What are all these rascals saying? Newspaper means all the statements of rascals. Gopinath read the headlines aloud. Honest plea to Congress Chief Minister. Mischief calls for assembly election. Gain elections, said Prabhupada, as if election will change their quality. Let them remain rascals and simply by election replace one rascal with another rascal. Let them remain rascal but get votes. That is described in Bhagavatam. Shvavid Varahushtra Kharahi Samstutaha. The population is Shvavid Varahostra. And they are giving vote, another big Pashu animal. Yes, this is democracy. The voters are Pashus or beasts, and they are selecting another big Pashu. This is going on. The rascals do not know that if instead of a tiger we select lion, then what is the difference? Simply names. The tiger was president, now the lion is president, and both of them are animals. Where is the man, the human being? This is going on. And because they are Pashu, they say, oh, now there is lion. Now the tiger is driven away. Now there is lion. This is going on. Am I right? Men who are like dogs, hawks, camels, and asses glorify non-devotees. Srila Prabhupada continued his sharp critical interest in his movement. When he received a report that devotees working with the BBT in Los Angeles were receiving salaries, he became disturbed. He enunciated his policy and asked his secretary to make it known. Krishna consciousness means Vairagya Vidya, renunciation and knowledge, he said. They are taking advantage of the temple facilities for their sense gratification. Do you understand? Prabhupada said that temple living was for brahmacharis and sannyasis. If a grihastha was rendering essential service, the temple could provide an apartment for him. But why salary? Asked Prabhupada. Where is the question of salary? Where is vairagya, renunciation? Salary project should be stopped. If they want salary, they can work outside. In the name of Vaishnava, he is drawing salary, living comfortably, having sense enjoyment. So all you, my officers, should think it over and do the needful. Prabhupada told how Lord Chaitanya was living in the perfect situation in family life with his wife and mother, and yet he left it all to practice Vairagya. And thus he was praised by Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. You are the Supreme Person, appearing as Sri Krishna Chaitanya, and you are teaching renunciation and devotional service. For weeks, Giriraj Maharaj and his political acquaintance Mr. Rajda had spoken about arranging a meeting between Srila Prabhupada and India's new Prime Minister Morarji Desai. When it was brought before Srila Prabhupada, the crucial question was whether Srila Prabhupada would consider going to see the Prime Minister somewhere in the city. But that is not respectful, said Prabhupada. Then he does not know how to honor a saintly person. Useless to meet. If he has no respect for a saintly person, if he thinks he is greater than a saintly person, then the visit is useless. Yes, then the meeting will start on the wrong foot, said Tamal Krishna Maharaj. He has to come to see you, Srila Prabhupada. There are so many examples in the Shastra of big personalities coming to see saintly persons. Even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu refused to see the king of Orissa, said Prabhupada. What to speak of going there? Prabhupada explained that he did not require anything from the Prime Minister, but for the benefit of the human society, he could suggest some things to him. He said that it was a fact that sometimes, when in difficulty, a saintly person could approach a king. He gave the example of Lord Chaitanya's devotee, Gopinath Pattanayaka, and how the devotees asked Lord Chaitanya to intervene to save him. But Lord Chaitanya showed that it was a difficult job to approach such royal persons. With these guidelines in mind, Giriraj Maharaj pursued the idea of a meeting. On the evening of May 5th at about midnight, Giriraj Maharaj received a phone call from Mr. Rajda. The meeting with Morarji Desai was fixed for 7:30 the next morning. The Prime Minister was only going to be in Bombay for 1 or 2 days and would be staying at his son's flat on the Marine Drive. Although Giriraj Maharaj knew that Prabhupada had said he would not go to Mr. Desai, Giriraj wanted to consult Prabhupada to see if certain leading disciples should go. Not wanting to disturb Prabhupada, he tiptoed into Prabhupada's hallway and peeked into the room. Prabhupada was awake, sitting at his translating table, working. He looked up, saw Giriraj Maharaj and motioned him to come forward. Srila Prabhupada, said Giriraj Maharaj, I am very sorry to disturb you at this hour, but I just received a phone call from Ratan Singh Rajda. Giriraj Maharaj related that Morarji Desai was ready to meet them at his residence the next morning. Srila Prabhupada explained that he wanted to see if Morarji Desai would have been willing to come and meet him at Hare Krishna land. It is not that I am proud, he said, that I can't go meet him at his place, but unless his mood is respectful, there is no use. Prabhupada said that this was the test of whether the Prime Minister had a proper attitude. He agreed that Tamal Krishna Goswami and Giriraj Maharaj should go ahead and meet the Prime Minister. Giriraj Maharaj. This meeting with Srila Prabhupada was one of the most intense and unique that I ever had. Although I was able to be in his presence so many times, we were alone together at midnight. Everyone else was asleep. All the lights were out, and it was just the two of us in this big room. He was sitting behind his marble translating desk, and I was sitting on the floor at his feet. I said, Prabhupada, I'm sorry that I had to disturb you like this in the middle of the night. Srila Prabhupada said, That's all right. Actually, with this sickness, I cannot sleep at night. Even if I want to, I cannot sleep. Due to this illness, I cannot eat also. I am such an old man. There is no question of sex life and there is no question of defense either. So I guess I am liberated. Of course, I knew that Srila Prabhupada was liberated not because of bodily circumstances, as he was humbly saying, but because he was in transcendental consciousness. He was always up at night translating, not because he was sick and couldn't sleep, but out of devotion to his Guru Maharaj and to Lord Krishna. But it was a very, very wry, humorous remark, and I felt very charmed by the whole meeting and offered my obeisances and went back to sleep. The next morning, Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj and Giriraj Maharaj were prepared well in advance for the meeting with the Prime Minister. Before leaving, they asked Prabhupada what books they should give him. Prabhupada replied, Bhagavad Gita, Krishna book, and the teachings of Lord Chaitanya. In Hindi? Asked Giriraj Maharaj. Prabhupada frowned. No, English. The devotees went in their car to pick up Mr. Rajda at his flat. From there, they would go to the apartment on Marine Drive where Prime Minister Desai was staying. After Giriraj Maharaj had been ringing the front doorbell for about 20 minutes, Mr. Rajda finally appeared. He said that they had to wait just 5 more minutes while he continued dressing and eating. Unfortunately, by the time they reached the apartment on Marine Drive, it was 8 o'clock. They were 30 minutes late. As soon as they entered, the Prime Minister said, You are very late. He was already meeting with some other people and said that he would see the devotees for a few minutes. He repeated that he had been waiting since 7:25. The devotees remained silent, not knowing what to say. They apologized and gave him Prabhupada's books. Mr. Desai didn't say much and quickly excused himself, going back to his meeting with the others. When the devotees returned to the temple, Prabhupada eagerly asked what happened. He was very upset to hear that they had been late. Very bad, he said. He remarked that Morarji Desai was known for his punctuality. They had missed a good opportunity, he said, by their misbehavior. When the devotees explained that Mr. Rajda had made them late, Prabhupada asked for a more detailed report. The devotees said the main thing Morarji Desai wanted to know was why they were late. Did you tell him that Ratan Singh Rajda made you late? Asked Prabhupada. Giriraj Maharaj and Tamal Krishna Maharaj shook their heads. Prabhupada became disgusted and said, why did you not say that he made you late? That you were on time, but he made you late. I know you are thinking that he is our friend and you didn't want to embarrass him in front of the Prime Minister, but now the whole thing is spoiled. Feeling very foolish and ashamed, the devotee sat silently before Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada reflected for a moment. Anyway, he said, these men will never change their views. Srila Prabhupada occasionally talked of traveling to a place better for his health. It was May and Bombay was hot. Soon the monsoons would come. He had considered going to Kashmir because the air and water were reputedly good for health. But no suitable accommodations could be found there, and the weather was too cool. Then one day he received a visit from Shriman Narayan, the former governor of Gujarat. You should take care of your health, said Shriman Narayan. I hope you get better. Oh, this is just an old machine, Prabhupada laughed. The more you cure it, the more it gets worse. But my work never stops. That keeps on going. My main work is to write these books, and that is going on. Several other Indian guests were present, and they at once began recommending good places for health. Srinagar, Kashmir, Dehradun, Mussoorie, Shimla, Haridwar. Yes, the water in Haridwar is good, said Sriman Narayan, but better than that would be in Rishikesh where the Ganges flows. Whatever places are on the bank of the Ganges, the water will be very good, pure Ganges water. Srila Prabhupada took these remarks seriously and turned to his disciples. Yes, then we can go to Rishikesh. This time is very good. Let us arrange for that. From that moment, going to Rishikesh became a definite plan, and Prabhupada prepared to leave Bombay within a week. Hare Krishna. Okay, let's pause here for today. So that concludes chapter 51. Okay, yes. So Prabhupada, despite his illness, he is continuing. He knows what is his only business is to have these books translated and all these wonderful BBT purports that we have from Srila Prabhupada, following in the footsteps of predecessor acharyas. He used to have 7 or 8 of these Srimad Bhagavatam in front of him before he was dictating and translating these purports, writing these purports. And of course, as we have heard many, many times, yes, these are not books because Prabhupada himself used to take so much interest in reading his books. And when his devotees would ask, like I think Vishwanath Prabhu was also saying on Saturday, right? Prabhupada say, Krishna is personally dictating these books to me. These are not my books. So that's why Prabhupada himself used to read these books so nicely. So if he did that, and all of his current Varga, current Guru Varga disciples, you see all of them, they take so much of sincere, with so much of sincere dedication. They all read Srila Prabhupada's books. Like Lalita Prasad was saying, Prasad Prabhu was also saying that day, when they would come back to the temple, the ashram after doing their services, they will all sit around and discuss, what did you read, what did you learn, right? So like that, so when we take interest and we sincerely try to read, that is the only thing, again, we are saying, Prabhupada also said, only thing that we need to develop is sincerity. That should be our only asset. If we have that sincerity, then Prabhupada and our Guru Parampara will shower their blessings. Paramatma in our heart, he will guide us, he will orchestrate everything so that way we are able to be in the service of Srila Prabhupada. These books are wonderful. If we don't read these books, there's no way we can distribute these books and we can distribute this knowledge. Charity begins at home. So we have to read these books personally and not just read, but read attentively. But just like we chant our rounds attentively, it's not just chanting, but chanting attentively, chanting good rounds. My Guru Maharaj would say, not just chant 16 rounds, but chant 16 good rounds. Jan 16, attentive rounds. So like that, when we read, yes, just by reading, there's so many things Prabhupada has given us. Yesterday evening in our evening reading, we were reading, Mahesh Prabhu was there, and many other devotees, Aarti Mataji, Harshal Prabhu, and Sangeeta Mataji, and then there was another new Mataji who joined from Detroit. So yeah, we were talking about Prabhupada giving so many nice analogies, and all these small books of Prabhupada are so powerful. It's so scientific, and so many things that we can learn from Prabhupada's analogies. So anyway, so yeah, Prabhupada was talking about similar theme there about evolution, and how Darwin's theory, and all the other philosophers, so-called philosophers, like he was saying this morning, philosophers, theologians, they all think they are very learned, very expert, but they are mudas, right? They have no knowledge because they have no knowledge of God consciousness. So something like that. Anyway, they were saying that humans evolved from monkeys, right? And Prabhupada was defeating that argument so boldly. He was saying, okay, if that is the case, then there are so many monkeys today. Why aren't we seeing monkeys becoming humans, right? So it was all ridiculous. And all the bones, they were talking about the bones being found, and because they have not found any archaeological evidence, by digging earth, they have not found any bones of humans. And I says, well, in Vedic civilization, bodies were burnt. Bodies were burnt, and bones, everything becomes ashes. Where is the question of finding bones, right? So like that. So everything is there in Prabhupada's books. Like he says, we just have to take time to read. Okay, any other thoughts, reflections, comments?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam, Mataji.
It's so heartwarming to hear that Kroger is getting spiritualized by the presence of nice devotees. So, I feel like we need devotees in every work area, and that would be wonderful. And I was just wondering, Prabhu, I don't know, since you're in Kroger, and I meant to ask you, is this, they don't have any eggless products in their bakery, and I don't know if that was in the works, and I'm sorry if this is off the topic, but just curious if anybody has, brought it up and stuff like that.
Yeah. No, I have brought it up, but yeah, I think they're doing their own, like the Kroger brands. They're trying to come up with a lot of products. But yeah, that's the feedback I think I have to submit formally. I have mentioned it in passing to a few people that we need to have, of course, vegan products are now there, but yeah, eggless in bakery that you brought up. Yeah, I've discussed with a couple of people, but maybe I should. They have Kroger sensory labs where they test a lot of products, and they're
Okay.
coming up with their own products and my brands. But yeah, this is something that I will re-emphasize again.
That would be wonderful, because children, especially our KC children, it's hard for them. They go, and then all these things get distributed in schools and stuff. They get treats, and then, like for instance, Prisha says, like 95% she already knows there's going to be egg in there, so she doesn't even bother to look at what's being served and stuff. And so it's hard for children to have that sense control already when they see good treats. But some kids are able to do it, some are not. So it would be much easier if it was more readily accessible to have same products but vegan or eggless.
Yes, Mataji, thank you for
Thank
yeah,
you.
I'll certainly pass that feedback and see how we can implement it.
And my other thing was, Prabhu, you do such. I'm really amazed to see that Kroger does this sort of on the Thanksgiving, where you can go door to door and deliver groceries. And I was wondering if in the community, do they allow volunteers to help and do? And that would be such a nice way. I wish our hospitals would do it, but we don't. We're just busy seeing even more patients on holidays than we otherwise do. But it would be so wonderful to team up and then as a community do these voluntary activities.
Yeah. I mean, they do other volunteering where, like, we can take our kids also.
Yeah.
But this one, the delivery one, they just started last year, and I couldn't go last year, but this year I went. But I don't know. That is mostly for the associates, for the employees to tag along. But yeah, I will certainly pass that also because they have asked for feedback. So in my feedback, I will certainly put that also. So that way they can certainly, look at that option for community to participate also in that.
Thank you. But thank you for your service. This is so wonderful to just hear that. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Mataji. Yeah, we have so many wonderful devotees at Kroger now. Kroger's family is growing. So
Yes,
we have
that's
so many.
nice.
So Cincinnati doesn't have a lot of places, but yeah, we have so many devotees working at Kroger, at Fifth Third, at GE. So it's good. Krishna consciousness is spreading everywhere, like you said, in hospitals. Of course, you all are there, in Kettering and UC and St. Elizabeth. So that's nice. Slowly, Prabhupada's movement. Like yesterday, I was listening to one small videos on YouTube, and Prabhupada was saying, in terms of acharyas, he was saying, like that time he had 10,000 disciples. So he said, today we are 10,000. Tomorrow we should become 100,000. Then it should become 1 million. And then finally he said 10 million. So he said 10 million acharyas are needed. So 10 million is like 1 crore. Right? So he said, all of us, all of you should become acharyas. So that is almost the same message he's saying today in this reading, because he's almost at the end of his life. He said, I'm here, I'll guide you, but you are in a position now, and we are in a very prestigious position. Make sure that we don't spoil it. So it is really by our character, by our sincerity, by our dedication to Srila Prabhupada's instructions and our Guru Varga's instructions that we should take this forward. Of course, there are so many wonderful devotees of Srila Prabhupada, disciples and grand disciples who are doing such incredible service all over the world. That's why the institution is where it is today. But we can also become that small squirrel in our own humble way and serve, just like the squirrel served Lord Sri Ram. So like that, I was reminded of that since Hanumanji was there yesterday in my trip. But yeah, in our own way, we can also continue to serve. Take this movement forward so that it can grow gloriously for the next 10,000 years. Thank you, Mataji. Okay, any other thoughts, comments before we wrap up today? Okay, all right, then we'll pause here for today. Thank you so much for your kind association and the morning Japa Sangha and reading of Prabhupada Lilamrit. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubheva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta koti Vaishnavrind ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Prabhupada Lilamrit ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.